All right. So, happy second test review day to you guys. So, today we're going to be going over the inequality test review 1.4. This is the second day of it after your long break. Just again, a quick reminder, if you actually multiply or divide by a negative number with inequalities, the inequality sign flips. You get that warning, right? So it tells you that you need to flip it anytime you divide or multiply by a negative number. So be on the watch for that. Otherwise, we're going to follow the same general steps that we do when we are solving an equation, which is to distribute, combine like terms, move the variable to one side, and then solve. Okay, so we follow those same four general steps whenever we are solving an inequality, just like an equation. For this review, I'm going to go kind of quickly because there's a lot to get through. I'm going to go over the entire review. So feel free to pause and rewind if I do something that you don't understand. But I'm just going to be following those steps and doing the party problem stuff and all that kind of stuff. So let's go through this. And I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. Okay. Here we go. So this first problem, number one, it's a two-stepper. We've got an acquaintance here and a best friend. So again, you always get rid of what's adding or subtracting here first. So since this is negative, I'm going to add 18 because again, our goal is to get it to go to 0 to both sides. So that goes to 0, and negative 22 plus 18 is negative 4 is greater than m over a negative 6. Then to get rid of this division number, I got to do the opposite. So I'm going to multiply by negative 6. So I multiply each side by negative 6. These two cancel out, and negative 6 times negative 4 is positive 24. But I multiplied by a negative number to each side. Notice like it's when you're moving it from one side of the inequality to the other when that matters. So if I multiply by a negative, this sign has to flip. You get the warning saying flip it. Okay, so it's going to go the other direction and it's going to eat the m now, and that is one answer. And there should be three answers on this unit. You should have the solved inequality. Oh, sorry. All right, so sorry about that delay there. So again, there should be three answers: the solved inequality, the graph of the inequality, and the interval notation. So I've got the solved inequality. Now I need to graph it. So do my number line. Some teachers just want one number there. I like the number before and the number after. Gives you an idea of which direction is which. And then you look at your inequality symbol. If it's a regular inequality, like it doesn't have the line under it, you put an open circle. So at 24, we put an open circle. And then if the alligator eats the variable, it goes right. If the alligator eats the number, it goes left. This time it's eating the variable, which means this is going to go right. That means the variable is representing all those numbers that are bigger than 24. And that's what we're graphing, is the variable. So there is your graph. And then we do our interval notation, which is always the least number and the greatest number. So least number on this interval would be 24, right? That's where my graph starts, or my line that I'm graphing starts. The greatest number, this arrow means it goes on forever, so that would be infinity. So infinity always has a parenthesis, and then for the number, you look at the circle. If it's an open circle, it also has a parenthesis. And if it had been a closed circle, it would have been a bracket. But that would be your three answers for number one. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit quicker now. So here we go. So this video can be a little bit shorter. So on number two, you're going to combine like terms. You got 4 and negative 7. They're going to combine to become negative 3. It's greater than or equal to 5. Now, it's a party problem. I'm going to add the 3 first to move it away. That gives me 8n is greater than or equal to 8. And then I divide by 8 to get rid of the 8. And n is going to be greater than or equal to 1. Notice I did not flip the sign when I divided because that is a positive 8. And it only flips if it is negative when you divide. So, and that's this number that's positive that matters. If this had been negative, it wouldn't have mattered. So that's one answer. And then for my number line, 0, 1, 2, this is going to be a closed circle because it's got the line underneath of it. And it is eating the variable again, so it's going to go to the right. So there's your second answer. And then the third answer is interval notation. Smallest or the least number is 1, greatest number is infinity. Infinity has a parenthesis, the 1 has a closed circle, so it's going to have a bracket. And that would be your 3 answers. Okay, let's look at number 3. So number 3 is a tough one. It's a two-stepper. I'm going to start off by moving the 12, so I'm going to subtract it since it's positive. Negative x is less than or equal to a negative 3. Then it's still negative, so I got to get rid of that negative. So I divide each side by negative 1. Now I'm dividing by a negative to each side. That means the sign has to flip around. It's going to eat the x now, and that would be 1 answer. Then I graph it. So do my interval notation, or sorry, my number line, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be a closed circle, and it's eating the variable, so it's going to go to the right. Okay, so there's my second answer. And then my last answer, I do my interval notation. So the smallest number or the least number is 3. Greatest number is going to be positive infinity. Infinity always has a parenthesis. 3 is a closed circle, so it's going to have a bracket. Okay? All right. Let's look at our next one. So this one has a party problem, has all 3 guests, best friend, acquaintance, creeper. Going to get rid of this creeper first. Again, if it's dividing the entire thing, that's always the first thing you need to get rid of because you can't move anything while it's being divided. So you times each side by negative 2. Okay? Now I'm timesing by a negative, so that sign's going to flip around. And I'm going to have negative 14 greater than or equal to 7 minus 3x. Then next step is to move the 7, so I minus 7 from each side. Gives me negative 21 greater than or equal to negative 3x. And then I'm going to divide by negative 3. Now I'm dividing by a negative, so warning, got to flip that sign. It's going to go the other direction. I'm going to get 7 less than or equal to x. And that is another answer. Okay, now I'm going to do my graph. So 7, 8, 9, and I don't know why I did that, because 7 clearly needs to go in the middle, so it would be 6, 7, 8. And then it would be a closed circle because you got the line underneath of it. And whew, we did not have a lot of variety. It's eating the variable, so it's going to the right. So that is your graph. And then the interval notation, least number would be 7. Greatest number would be infinity. Parenthesis around the infinity, and it would have a bracket on the 7 because of the closed circle. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep going. So bear with me. Again, pause, rewind if you need to. And you can always fast forward, rewind if you're on a specific problem. Okay, number 5 here. There's nothing to distribute, no like terms combined. So my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move the variable to one side. With inequalities, I like to make it or move it in a way that makes it positive in the end, so you don't have to worry about flipping the inequality symbol. So I'm going to add the 3n to each side. And that leaves me with negative 9 is greater than or equal to 1 plus 5n. And then I would minus 1, which gives me negative 10 is greater than or equal to 5n. And then I would divide by 5. And that does nothing to the inequality sign because it's a positive 5, so it's going to be negative 2 greater than or equal to n. And that would be one answer. Okay, so graph it. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. It's going to be a closed circle and negative 2, and it is eating the number this time, finally. So it's going to go to the left. So that's the difference between going to left and right, is it's eating the number. So then the least number is going to actually be negative infinity, and the greatest number is going to be negative 2. Negative 2 would have a bracket, infinity always has a parenthesis, and that's your third answer there. Okay, let's look at this one, number 6. So number 6, we have parentheses, so we're going to start by distributing the negative 7. So distribute the negative 7, get negative 35n, and then positive 28. And then I still have a minus 6n, less than or equal to negative 218. Okay, then combine like terms, going to combine the negative 35 and the negative 6. It's going to be negative 41n plus 28 is less than or equal to negative 218. Now it's a two-stepper. I'm going to subtract 28 from each side. Leaves me with negative 41n less than or equal to a number. Negative 218 minus 28 is negative 246. And then my last step, I'm going to divide by negative 41. I'm going to divide by negative to each side, so that means this sign's going to flip around. And divide by negative 41, and you get 6. So n is going to be greater than or equal to 6. So there is one answer. And I'm going to mute my computer here. And then I'm going to draw my number line. 5, 6, 7, and it's going to be a closed circle. It's eating the variable, so it's going to go to the right. There's your second answer, and then least number is 6, greatest number is infinity, and infinity has a parenthesis. 6 is going to have a bracket because of the closed circle. Okay, not too tough, right? 4 more, here we go. So number 7. This is a one-stepper, 8. I'm going to divide by the 8 to get it by itself. I'm dividing by a positive, so it stays going the same direction. And 72 divided by 8 is going to be negative 9. So there's one answer. That was a tough one. So then we do our number line. Negative 10, negative 9, negative 8. It's going to be an open circle, and it's eating the variable. So again, it's going to go to the right. And there's another answer there. And then we do our interval notation. Least number is negative 9. Greatest number is infinity. And in parentheses on both. Okay. Then let's look at number 8 here. So first thing I see it as parentheses. So I'm going to distribute the negative. And that just changes the signs. So I'm going to have negative b plus 5. And then I still have this business over here, negative 5b, negative 15. Okay. Then I'm going to move the variable to one side. Again, I like to move the variable in a way that makes them positive, so I don't have to worry about flipping the sign. So I'm going to add 4b or 5b. It's going to become 4b. Brain thinking ahead of my writing hand here. So add 5b to each side, and I get negative 15 is less than 4b plus 5. And then I would minus the 5 from each side. Gives you negative 20. It's less than 4b. And then divide by 4. And again, it's positive, so the sign stays the same. I'm going to get negative 5 less than b. Okay. Then I graph the inequality. And the lights just went out. You're going to have to see me in the dark, I guess. Oh, it went back on. Okay, good. All right, negative 5. Okay, so negative 6, negative 5, negative 4. It's going to be an open circle, and it's eating the variable, so it's going to go to the right. Okay, so there's your second answer. And then final answer, you do the least number, greatest number for your interval notation. Negative 5, infinity, and they would both have a parenthesis. And there you go. All right, 2 more. Here we go. All right, so this one, we got a couple of best friends over there. We're going to worry about them last, but we're going to get rid of this add, subtract first. So it's subtracting, so we're going to add them. Add 33. Gives you 4y over 5 is greater than 4. And then you're going to multiply by 5. Gives you 4y is greater than 20. Again, didn't change anything because it was a positive 5. And then divide by 4, which is also positive, so it's not going to change anything, and y is going to be greater than 5. So there's one answer. Then we do our graph. 4, 5, 6. It's going to be an open circle, and it's eating the variable, so it's going to go to the right. Oh man, most all these are going to the right. Then least number is 5, greatest number is infinity, and parentheses on both. Okay, and last one. So last one, we've got this whole party business stuff. So best friend, acquaintance, creeper. Anytime you have that, I mean, something outside of it, you want to get this whole business all by itself first. So we're going to start by adding the 4. So get rid of that first. And that leaves me negative 6n minus 1 over 11 is less than or equal to negative 5. Then we're going to get rid of the creeper, the guy that's dividing, because again, you can't move anything while it's being divided. So we're going to multiply by 11, cancels out here. You're left with negative 6n minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 55. Then you're going to add 1 to each side, gives you negative 6n less than or equal to negative 54. And then 54, we're going to divide by a negative 6. And we're dividing, but a negative to each side, so the sign has to flip and is going to be greater than or equal to positive 9. And there's our first answer. And then we graph it. 8, 9, 10. And we're going to use a closed circle. And it's eating the variable, so it's going to go to the right. And least number would be 9. Greatest number would be infinity. Parentheses, and then a bracket on the 9 because of the closed circle. And that's it. So that is your test review. That's pretty much what is going to be on the test. Problems just like those. If you have any questions, concerns, please talk to your teacher now so that we can address it and help you understand before the test. So ask us questions. We like to answer questions. That's what they pay us for. So good luck on the test, guys.